We have always heard that a picture can be equal to 1,000 words, or a picture can describe thousands of words. So today we will take a look at the picture of Sri Krishna and Arjuna in the battlefield of Mahabharata. And we will try to understand if there is some meaning behind this picture, or what this picture is trying to convey or is trying to say. As far as the opinions and the descriptions or the details of the picture described here are personal. These are my opinions, and the views expressed are not to be taken as something that is being claimed here. But if you can understand and if you can take some kind of benefit from the explanations, so that will be the aim of this video. So the picture that we are talking about shows us Sri Krishna on a chariot, and there is Arjuna standing inside the chariot. There is the chariot itself, and there are horses who are pulling this chariot. And in some pictures we can see that the horses are being controlled, or their reins are in the hands of Sri Krishna, not Arjuna. Arjuna basically is fighting his war. He is involved with the enemies, and he is having his bows and arrows, and he is taking aims, shooting at the enemies, destroying them, killing them, or whatever. And Sri Krishna is actually controlling the horses, taking the chariot from one place to another, and is basically controlling everything that is helpful to Arjuna. He has the reins, so it's up to him to take him to an appropriate place in the battlefield, and he will also be maneuvering the chariot in a way that is protective. Somehow he can also protect Arjuna from the calamities, or say some kind of danger, by just maneuvering the chariot. So that can also be done by Sri Krishna. I'm not sure if he's doing that here, or if he's just taking the chariot to the place where it's supposed to be, so that Arjuna can continue his fight. So there are so many things in this picture, but we are going to focus on the chariot, the horses, Arjuna, and then Sri Krishna. And how we are going to do this is we will take a look at the pictures of the chakras that are described in the yoga system of spiritual practices from India, and how these chakras can relate to this picture. Just by doing some meditation and some practices, I came to a realization that somehow this picture is equivalent to the picture that we see of the chakras in the human body. And somehow this picture is trying to convey a state of all the chakras that we have, and how things should be, like which chakra should be active, which should be controlling, and what functions they should be performing. So first take a look at the picture of the chakras as shown in the yoga system. So basically they show that we have 7 chakras in our body, and the first chakra is the Mooladhara chakra, and this is the chakra that controls all the physical activities of our body. In the picture, most of the times it's shown as a red colored chakra at the root of our body, and basically what this chakra does is this controls all our activities that are related to survival. Like we have to eat, we have to drink, we have to protect ourselves from our enemies, and we also have to clean our place, we have to do certain things that are necessary for our survival, and all these activities are collectively, say, controlled or contained in this chakra. So basically a chakra is not a kind of control center, but it can also be viewed as collection of processes. So all the processes that are related to our survival, or the survival of a human being, or the survival of any entity or a structure, can be clumped together under one single chakra, or say collection of processes, and it has been named as the Mooladhara chakra. So Mooladhara chakra is the collection of all the processes associated with survival. Now this chakra also denotes the structure, like this chakra denotes the structure of our body as well. Like our body and the physical matter contained in our body is a form of Mooladhara chakra. So it's not chakra, but basically this chakra denotes the physical aspect of our being, the solid body that we have. Apart from this body, there is nothing solid about us, but the only solid structure that we can say we have is our body. And Mooladhara chakra, aside from denoting the collection of the processes, the survival processes, also denotes the body itself. Then above Mooladhara chakra we have the Swadisthana chakra, and the Swadhisthana chakra can be said to be the collection of all the processes from which we can derive pleasure. Like going for a walk on a beach can be a pleasurable event. Sex, of course, is the highest pleasurable event and is thus primarily associated with Swadhisthana chakra. But apart from sex, any enjoyable experience, or say pleasurable activity, enjoyment and pleasure can be a little different. So pleasure that happens within the energy realm of our existence. This chakra is also associated to the energies that we have in our body, and the form of energy that is active and is responsible for all our actions is called prana in the yogic system of philosophies. And it is the prana that feel in our body as our aliveness. Like when we close our eyes, it's not like we are not able to see our body and we don't feel anything. We do feel our body even when our eyes are closed. And this sensation of aliveness actually comes from the prana in our body, or the energy. And this is also the center of pleasure. So Swadisthana chakra can be called the collection of all the activities that gives us pleasure, and this can include say a massage to our body, or having some kind of delicious food that can also give us pleasure, and hugging someone, or doing any such thing that gives us pleasure. So all the collection of all such activities will be called the Swadhisthana chakra, and it will be intimately related, or it will also be the same as our energy body. So energy body and Swadhisthana chakra are interchangeable, and they are the same thing, and we will use it that way here in our discussion. Apart from that, above Swadhisthana chakra we have the solar plexus, also known as the Manipura chakra in the yoga systems, and again, as the form of collection of activities, this chakra will include any activity that is outgoing and societal in nature. Like when a person grows up a little, he tries to explore his surroundings, find out who are the people living in his area, and how to get involved with them. He makes friends and starts going out, starts participating in some kind of debate, and how this gets interested in knowing how society works and functions, and how he can or she can make a contribution to the running of the society. What is the fabric of the society holding it together, and how he can try and provide his services to contribute and make this fabric a little more comfortable and better for everyone else. So these are the kind of activities that can be clubbed together under Manipura chakra, also called the solar plexus. So solar being, it has some kind of relation to the sun as well. And above Manipura chakra we have the Anahat chakra, also called the heart chakra. But there is something that the Hindi word Hridaya and its English translation heart. So the Hindi word Hridaya maybe it does not necessarily means this heart chakra. We will come back to it later on sometime, but as of now this is the heart chakra, and again this can be defined as the collection of all the activities, including having a personal conversation with someone else, feeling love and emotions, like loving a baby, or like people love their family members and their boyfriends and girlfriends, and all those kinds of relations in which there is some kind of emotion in play at the background. So all those activities can be clubbed together under Anahat chakra, and this Anahat chakra is definitely connected to our emotions, and so we can say it like expressing love to someone in our family, that is an activity of the Anahat chakra. And again, like maybe generally we don't get angry, and Anahat chakra might not be included, but you get the understanding like actions taken in anger can also be considered to come under Anahat chakra, because again anger is an emotion, so any emotion at work, we can club them together here. But not all emotions are come under Anahat chakra, like the lower emotions like shame and guilt, and those are associated with lower chakras like Swadisthana and Manipura. So Anahat basically is related to love, compassion, and higher emotions that are good in nature. So we have seen 4 chakras, Mooladhara, Swadhisthana, and Manipura. Those are the 3 chakras below Anahat. Anahat is at number 4 if we start from the bottom. And then we have 3 more chakras above Anahat chakra: the Visshudha, the Ajna, and the Sahasrara. Now let's take a look at these 3 chakras. The literal meaning of the word Visshudha is cleansing, and the location of this chakra is at the base of our throat, and this is also a kind of communication center in our being. Like when we speak something, Vishuddha chakra is active. So it's said that when we express some kind of truth, the Vishuddha chakra gets strengthened, and if we lie about something or say something that we don't actually mean, the Vishuddha chakra is further weakened due to our lies. So all the communication activities, like we are expressing something through our vocal cords, whatever it is, all those activities can be clubbed together under Vishuddha chakra, and somehow this chakra also filters out any kind of poison that might be entering into our system energetically. So we are not going to the details of the functions of these chakras as of now. We will see about the functions later on. Let us now move on beyond Vishuddha. We have the Ajna chakra, also called the crown chakra in English, and the location is between the eyebrows, but not exactly on the surface. This Ajna chakra is said to be somewhere in the center of our head, so it is not located exactly on the surface between the eyes, but it's a little backwards, so it's inside our head. Actually, it's exactly the central position. It is located at the central position of our brain. So you can view many pictures. You can look at the pictures that are available on the internet and try and see where this is located. And Ajna chakra is basically the seat of concentration and focus and attention. So the activities that are related to Ajna chakra are, again, concentration, focus, attention, intuition, and also all such higher level activities. So basically Ajna chakra is where our intuition comes from. Intuition is different than intellect. Intellect relies on the information that we have, like throughout our life we are gathering information each and every moment, and intellect works by processing this gathered information that we already have. But intuition has a wider scope than our intellect. Like intuition can guide us through scenarios where we do not have any kind of information, or where we lack substantial information in order to take an action. Their intuition can be a great help. And just like the intellect, intuition can also be developed with the use of practice. In some people this intuition is very highly developed, in some people the intuition is not that developed. So we say that this Ajna chakra is highly developed or not developed based on how much a person can use his Ajna chakra. And this chakra is also called the command center, because once this chakra gets activated, and now by activation of a chakra I mean the activities that are clubbed under that particular chakra starts happening in a person, or say in a system. Like just suppose if a person never concentrates, never focuses, or never pays attention to any particular thing in his life. Like for example, the people nowadays, they cannot watch a video that is beyond 10 minutes in length. The activity of Ajna chakra is not taking place. Now if we are paying attention to a video that is more than 10 minutes, or say 20 minutes, and we continue paying attention, then this activity of attention is being performed at the level of Ajna chakra. So focus, concentration, attention, meditation, all these things can be clubbed under Ajna chakra. And peculiarly, Ajna chakra is not always functioning in everyone. It's always functioning, but the level of functioning of Ajna chakra can differ vastly among people. And there is a minimum activity in Ajna chakra that happens any which ways. Like there is a minimum activity that will happen in all the chakras, in every individual, but that doesn't mean that that particular chakra is active. When we say a chakra is active, then the chakra should be functional at its optimum level. As much as it is necessary, it should be functional. So if in a person whose attention span is like 5 minutes or 10 minutes, Ajna chakra is not actually working optimally, or it is not working at its peak potential. So even though the chakra is working and the person can focus for a small amount of time, we cannot say that his Ajna chakra is active, because whenever there is a need for attention span more than 10 minutes, say 15, 20, an hour or so, then that thing gets impossible for such people. And we'll see the types of activities that usually take place in ordinary people. By ordinary I don't mean not special. By ordinary I mean the large majority of people. And then we have Sahasrara chakra after Ajna chakra, and the location of Sahasrara chakra is on the head of the crown, top of the head, even beyond our head. So actually outside our head and extends beyond. So here let us see how all these chakras are related to the picture of Arjuna and Sri Krishna that we saw earlier. In the picture of Krishna and Arjuna, if we take a look at the chariot the chariot is the most sturdy structure, the solid structure at that place. And this chariot can be a representation of our body, or say the Mooladhara chakra in a human being. So the Mooladhara chakra is being represented as the chariot, or say our human body is being represented as the chariot. The chariot has no will of its own, it has no control over itself, it is just a structure, it is just a physical structure with the capacity to move, just like our body has. It can move, but we need to exert energy and then move this structure around, and then we have to decide how to move it so that we can accomplish some kind of task. So that's how this chariot and our body are similar, and this chariot can be a representation of the Mooladhara chakra. After that, we have the Swadisthana chakra, and the Swadhisthana chakra is the energy center, or say the energy layer of our existence. And this chakra, or say this is the layer that provides all the power that is needed by any other chakra, like for all the activities that are being performed by this particular entity, or say the particular human being. The energy to perform all the activities will be coming from the Swadhisthana chakra. So it's like the battery, or say the energy center, or say the energy bank for the entire chakra structure, or the human structure, or the human being. And in the picture of Arjuna and Sri Krishna, we can see that the drive, the power for the entire chariot and to drive Sri Krishna and Arjuna along is being provided by some horses that are tied in front of the chariot. Just like the horses, just like they provide power to move the chariot one way or the other, in the same way the Swadhisthana chakra, or the energy body or energy layer in our existence, provides the required power for functioning of all the layers that are above as well as below. Like above we have the Manipura, Anahat, Visshudha and Ajna, and the layer below, or the chakra below, is the Mooladhara. So this will provide all the energy and all the power needed. And as we can see in the picture, the horses are going to provide all the energy and all the power that is needed to go around and fight in the battle. So we have the Mooladhara chakra, the chariot, and then we have the Swadhisthana chakra, the horses. After that comes the three chakras, the Manipura, Anahat and Visshudha. Now, as per my understanding, the word man or manas or mind in the Vedic literatures, that actually means our emotions. So the emotions can be further subdivided into two categories, like the emotion. The first thing that we have felt are the sensations. So the sensations are not energy. When we say we start feeling the sensations. These sensations actually reside in our energy body mainly. So all the sensations like pain and pleasure, they originate from the Swadhisthana chakra. But these are sensations, and just like emotions, even sensations are a reason for our movement in life. Just for an example, if something is pleasurable, we tend to move towards that particular thing. If something is causing us pain, we tend to move away from that particular thing. So even pain and pleasure, just like the emotions and our thoughts, they also drive us in our life. So everything that drives us, that causes the drive, can be coupled together as the mind. Like first is the pain and pleasure, then we have our emotions, then we have our thoughts. So these sensations, emotions and thoughts, all these three things combined always move us in one way, or say in one direction or the other. If we take a look at the chakra system, for the three chakras that are Manipura, Anahat and Visshudha, all these three can be combined, because the basic purpose of all these three chakras is to give us a direction in which to move. Like pain and pleasure, they give us a direction. Then we have the emotions, like we always tend to move towards things that are loving. We tend to move away from the things that are not loving, or say hateful or not good for us. And the same with thoughts. What we think is good for us, we tend to move towards it, and what we don't think is good for us, we tend to move away from those things. So thoughts, emotions and sensations in our bodies, all these three things combined are providing us impetus to move in our life one way or the other. And all our confusions, all our desires and all our fears and things like that, doubts in our minds, they reside within these chakras. Then we have something called buddhi in Hindi, that is translated as reason in English, but the literal meaning of buddhi is control. So what is buddhi? Buddhi is the control system over and above our sensations, emotions and thoughts. So thoughts, sensations and emotions, these three things keep on moving and generating movements in our lives. But then we also have the capacity to control the sensations, capacity to control the emotions and generate emotions, and capacity to control the thoughts, to generate new thoughts, or to discard or stop unnecessary and unwanted thoughts. So this particular layer that provides control over the sensations and emotions and thoughts, that is called buddhi, or better word in English can be intelligence. Intelligence is the capacity to be able to control the sensations, emotions and thoughts, and as a result all our actions will also be in our control. Like because these three are the reasons for all our actions: sensations, emotions and thoughts. They will cause the action. So if these three are in check or in our control, then our actions are automatically going to be in control, as the actions are basically controlled by these three. Our actions are controlled by sensations in our body, emotions in our heart and the thoughts in our mind. So these three controls actions, and the buddhi, the intelligence, is the layer that controls these three and thus automatically controls our actions. Now if we combine the sensations, emotions, the thoughts and the intelligence, all those four things can be combined and lumped up as Arjuna in sitting inside the chariot. So Arjuna is the part of a human being that knows, that has a history, that has an ego, that has a name, that has individuality, that has a personality, and it's his story. Because what we see here in the picture is the war in which the chariot, the horses, and Sri Krishna is standing. It's not their war. The war is not for the chariot or by the chariot. The war is not of the horses, and the war is not for or by Sri Krishna. It's Arjuna's war. So Arjuna is the fighter here. And so whose story is this? This is Arjuna's story. He has the background for this war, and he understands why this war is being fought. Although Sri Krishna also understands, but basically it's his story. And he is the reason that the chariot and the horses and Sri Krishna, everyone is standing out there in the middle of the battlefield. It's not because of the horses, it's not because of the chariot, and of course not because of Sri Krishna. It's because of Arjuna that the whole setup is there in the battlefield. So we see that as per our chakra model, we have the chariot as the Mooladhara, then we have the horses providing power, that is the Swadisthana, and we have Arjuna, that is a combination of Manipura, Anahat, Visshudha, and the intelligence controlling all these, or say buddhi or reason. Okay, so we'll say we have three chakras: the Mooladhara, Swadhisthana, and the Arjuna, and where Arjuna is combined representation of the Manipura, Anahat, Vishuddha, and the intelligence or buddhi in human beings. And we will see later on why emotions and the thoughts are Arjuna and not all the other things as well. So let's move ahead. Then after Vishuddha chakra and the intelligence, above that we have the Agya chakra, and this Agya chakra is basically, this is the seat of attention, and this is the place that has the capacity to retain focus at a particular point, or say on a particular sound, on a particular sight, whatever it is. Focus, concentration, attention, everything comes from this particular chakra. And so this chakra can be the representation of Sri Krishna. So Ajna chakra and anything that is above and beyond Ajna chakra, that is the representation of Sri Krishna in that picture. So we see that this picture basically covers the entire structure of a human being as shown in the yogic system, with divided into 7 chakras, and here we are doing the same division, but we are dividing things into 4 different different parts. So one human being can be represented as the chariot, that will be his body; as the horses, that will be his energy or his power; and then the Arjuna, that will be his thoughts, emotions, sensations, and intelligence. And then we will have Sri Krishna, that will be his command center, or say Agya chakra, that will be his focus, concentration, meditation, and anything and everything beyond Agya chakra. So this picture here is not actually just a picture of 2 people standing in the middle of a war. And in which ways there is no reason for 2 people to be standing where arrows are flying and bombs are exploding. There is also a very interesting reason for this picture, and the reason for Lord Krishna and Arjuna standing in the middle of the battlefield. Like Osho mentioned in his discourses, Krishna Smriti. And what Osho said was very interesting, and I totally agree, that just take a look at the situation here where Arjuna is right in the middle of a war and he has to fight, he has to kill or he can be killed, but still Arjuna is not ready to listen to Sri Krishna and what Sri Krishna has to say. Now what this actually means is our minds, when our mind is not in some kind of a big trouble, when we are not standing in the middle of a war kind of situation and it's not a matter of life and death, our minds are so bizarre that we are never going to listen to something that is coming from a higher level, or say a higher intelligence or a higher teaching. Who cares? Life is good. Who bothers about Sri Krishna when they are enjoying their beers in a bar? And who cares while they are having fun at the amusement parks? Who bothers with Sri Krishna? The only people who bother with Sri Krishna, or say the only situation in which a mind becomes ready to listen to a higher teaching, is the situation of Arjuna, is when the mind itself gets trapped in some kind of life and death situation, either do this or die, or say kill them or get killed or something like that. And that is the reason that this picture, or say Sri Krishna delivered Geeta to Arjuna right in the middle of a battlefield, and not while they were taking rest in a palace and enjoying their suppers and dinners and dance and whatever. Well, Sri Krishna had a lot of time with Arjuna. He was his friend and they used to roam here and there. They were relatives and they were having all kinds of parties and enjoyed everything together. But no, Sri Krishna won't be delivering Bhagavad Gita at those times. Why? Not because Sri Krishna was not ready. Sri Krishna was always ready. But it was the question of when Arjuna will get ready to listen to Sri Krishna. Like Arjuna is not ready to listen to Sri Krishna. He is not even ready when he is standing in the middle of the battlefield. Even there he is giving excuses. When Sri Krishna tells him the highest truth, Sri Krishna starts with the highest and then steps down one level at a time. So he starts with the Gyan Marg, the knowledge thing. First, in the Indian tradition believes to impart the highest teachings at first, and if that teaching is not absorbed by whoever is listening or the disciple, then the teacher comes one step down and delivers the second teaching from that level. And even if that is missed, then teacher comes down to the third level and delivers the teachings from the third level, and so on and so forth. So the same with Sri Krishna. Sri Krishna started with the highest knowledge, the kind of Advait knowledge, and he told Arjuna that, what do you think? These people were not present before you were born and will die after you are dead? No, it's not the case. They will be reborn again and again and again and again, so don't worry. You just get up and start your fight. And Arjuna is not ready to listen to these things, and he starts giving excuses. No, there is my uncle, and there is my brother, and there is this, and there is that. How can I fight? Fighting is not good, and killing is immoral, and all those kinds of rubbish. Because Osho said that Arjuna was a warrior, so killing a person is not a big question for him. He has been killing people all his life, and killing animals and this and that. So killing is not the question here, but Arjuna is hiding behind those words, and is trying to escape his karma, and is trying to give an excuse so as to not kill his own family. So the problem is not killing, the problem is killing his own family. So even in the middle of the battlefield, when his own family is ready to kill him, he is not ready to listen to Sri Krishna. So that's the thing, that's the reason why this Bhagavad Gita and it was told in the middle of the war. Like I have always heard this question, like people ask why there, why in the middle of the battlefield, why didn't Sri Krishna tell Bhagavad Gita somewhere sitting on a stone or in a palace and relaxing and in a nice mood where thousands and people are present and everyone can listen to the Bhagavad Gita. But the thing is, he is trying to tell it to one person, Arjuna, and even he is not ready to listen to it. And look at the situation. The situation is dire. He might get killed in that war, and still he is not ready to listen to what Sri Krishna has to say. So Sri Krishna first delivers him the highest knowledge. Then Arjuna makes his excuses. Sri Krishna comes down to the second level and imparts the knowledge of the yoga teachings, gives him yoga teachings, and Arjuna denies that too. He comes down again, gives him a knowledge of Tantra or something like that. What I mean to say is, Sri Krishna gradually comes down a level at a time, gives his teachings again, and see if Arjuna has actually listened or heard. So, as per this picture, all those four entities, like the chariot, the horses, Arjuna and Sri Krishna, they are actually not four separate individual entities. They are representation of one single human being, or say any one entity, because all human beings are structurally exactly the same, and not only human being, even animals and everything is the same. Everything is based on this chakra system. Everything is the same. All animals have the same chakra system that we saw earlier in the human being. So at least for our discussion, we'll focus on human beings. So all human beings have the same structure, and these four parts, or these four entities, are not actually separate and individual entities, but are parts of one single entity. So what is Sri Krishna? Sri Krishna is the representation of our higher possibilities that can be expressed through Ajna Chakra or Sahasrara Chakra. What is Arjuna? Arjuna is the representation of our intelligence and our minds, and all the doubts and all disbeliefs and all such things are contained there in Arjuna. They are not in Sri Krishna. Sri Krishna is enlightened, and so is our higher self enlightened, because that itself is what enlightenment means. Enlightenment simply means the starting point of functioning of your higher chakras, or say starting of the higher functions in your structure. So in every human there is a possibility of functioning of the higher structures, but it does not function in every single person. So if we take a look at a normal person, so the normal person, how he is, we'll start with the most basic people. Like there are people whose life is mostly concerned with just survival, and all their concern is with food and shelter and sleep. So all their activities will be related to eating, drinking, and taking a little care of their bodies and sleeping. So these activities can be clubbed directly under the Mooladhara chakra. They are not even trying to have some kind of pleasure in their life. Like there are people, I'm not saying they are inferior in any kind of way. There are people who are very poor, and the life that they have does not give them any kind of opportunity to have pleasure in their life. Although pleasure happens, like whenever you eat food, whenever anybody eats food, then the body will create a little pleasure, but then this is very nominal form of pleasure. Like they don't go out to meet other people, they don't go out to see amusement parks or things like that. So there is no exclusive pleasure or exclusive pleasurable activity in their life. So these people are mostly confined to their Mooladhara chakra, or say to the activities associated with Mooladhara chakra. But still they do have energy with which they perform all the actions of their Mooladhara chakra. So in this case, if we try to represent such person with this picture, then what we will find is in that case there will be the chariot, the body, and it will be active, and there will be the horses, and they will be moving the chariot here and there. But still, in this case, Arjuna will be almost asleep, and he will just be having his eyes a little open, and he will be holding the reins of the horses, and he will be guiding the horses in such a way so as to meet his objectives of daily survival, like acquiring food, having food and shelter and protection and those things, but nothing more than that. And the peculiar thing is, he himself will be holding the reins of the horses, which means that the mind itself, or say the mind itself will be directing the horses or directing the energies and moving the body to a certain place or in a certain direction so as to achieve the goals. And so this will be the first condition, and Sri Krishna will be totally asleep right there in front, like the case that is for such people whose higher chakras like Ajna chakra and Sahasrara chakra, they are totally inactive. So for most of the people, even I can say like 95% of the people, this is the case. Sri Krishna is sleeping in front of the chariot, so he is not awake, and the reins are in the hands of Arjuna. Even when Arjuna gets a little ahead, or say he starts moving forward in life, he starts having a little societal interactions with other people, and beyond that he starts his relationships, like he falls in love and has a girlfriend and all. Even then he will still be holding the reins of the horses, and the chariot will move wherever Arjuna takes the chariot to, and he will also be performing other tasks like doing his things and achieving his goals, and also driving the chariot, and Sri Krishna will be there, but he will be asleep even in that case. And the highest level Arjuna can reach is the level of having acquired the scientific intelligence, say mathematics, and he learns physics and chemistry and mathematics and science, and then also learns some higher engineering and technology, and he becomes like a scientist. Even in that case, he will still be holding the reins of the horses, although this time Arjuna will be way more functional than we saw it in the earlier case, where only survival is the concern. Here Arjuna has grown, and he is almost totally awake, and he is performing everything, and he is actualizing his potential, doing everything. But still there is something amiss with this picture, that he is still holding the reins of the horses, he is driving the horses and the chariot, and performing his tasks. So in our daily life we would assume that, wow, this is a great situation, our mind is in control, and our mind is taking all is in charge of our energy body, and is taking it to wherever it wants, and doing its stuff. But if you take a look at this picture, that is the ideal picture, I can say. The reins of the horses are not in the hands of Sri Krishna, it's in the hands of Arjuna, and Sri Krishna is just asleep on the chariot. He is not actually involved in any task or say any activity that Arjuna is doing. So we might think that that is a good situation in our life, but and that is the situation for most of the people, even the most say even highly intellectual people whose thoughts go to the highest realms of physics and metaphysics and quantum physics and whatnot and this and that. Even those people are holding the reins of their horses in their hand, and even on their chariot Sri Krishna lies asleep. That means even those people do not have an active Agya Chakra, or say an active layer of focus, meditation and concentration. So what this picture means is that we have to go beyond our intellect, that will be engineering, technology and scientists and all this stuff, and then intelligence, that is buddhi. So we have to go beyond that, and we have to try and awake Sri Krishna as well. That means we have to activate our Ajna chakra, and by activation we mean the starting off and lengthening of our powers that are related to Ajna chakra, like focus, concentration, meditation, etc. So the next stage of this picture, we will have Sri Krishna who is starting to awaken, and once Sri Krishna is awake, then he will be the one who will be holding the horses, the reins of the horses, and he will be commanding the chariot to go from one place to another. And the work that Arjuna has now is only to fight his battle, do its work. So the mind is free to do its work, while it does not have to concern itself on how this chariot is going to move, and how the chariot is going to reach to the place where it is supposed to be, because until the time Sri Krishna is asleep, Arjuna had to steer the chariot and take care of everything else, how it moves, where it goes, and how to take it to the best possible place. And while doing all this stuff, he also has to fight his battle. But now, when Sri Krishna is awake and holding the reins of the horse, this is the most ideal situation as per this picture that we see here, that Sri Krishna is totally awake. He is holding the reins of the horses, so he will be controlling where the horses go, or he will be controlling where the body goes, and then Arjuna is free to fight his battle. Take a look at the enemies, figure out where the enemies are, what they are doing, what they might be doing, and then fight the battle. Okay, let's see what were the four pictures that are so the four elements we start with are the chariot, representation of the body, and the horses, representation of the energy in our system. Then we have Arjuna, representation of the mind, including the sensations, emotions, thoughts, and intelligence. And beyond that, we have Sri Krishna, representing our higher layers, that is the layer of focus, attention, concentration, meditation. And different states that a person can be is when a person is just involved in his Mooladhara chakra. It will be like the chariot will be there, the horses will be there, and Arjuna will be just sitting there, slightly awake, and will be holding the reins of the horses, and Sri Krishna will be asleep. And then the second phase will be when a person's Swadisthana, Manipura, Anahat, Visshudha all are working. In that case, Arjuna will be totally awake, but he will still be holding the reins of the horses. He will be driving the chariot and doing all the work, and Sri Krishna will still be asleep. And then the third state in which this picture can be, that will be the most ideal state, will be Sri Krishna totally awake. He will be holding the reins of the horses. He will be taking the horses to wherever the chariot needs to go, and Arjuna will be sitting inside the chariot, and he will be doing his work. So, in a way, this picture defines the four kinds of states in which a person can be as per the yoga system, like only Mooladhara active, and then the second state in which Mooladhara and mind, that includes Swadisthana, Anahat and Manipura and Visshudha. So those are also active along with Mooladhara. That is the second stage, but still Sri Krishna is asleep. And then the third stage is when all Mooladhara, Swadhisthana, Anahat, Vishuddha and Ajna chakra is also active. And it is the Ajna chakra that is controlling both Swadhisthana and the Mooladhara. That means when Ajna chakra is controlling the energy and the physical body, that means when Ajna chakra or Sri Krishna is controlling the Swadhisthana or the horses and indirectly controlling the Mooladhara, that will be the body. And this is the most ideal situation for Arjuna to fight his battle, which means that will be the most ideal situation for a mind to function in this world, where the mind being the Manipura, Anahat, Vishuddha chakras. So these three chakras can function the best when Ajna chakra is controlling the Swadhisthana chakra, indirectly controlling the Mooladhara, and the three chakras, Manipura, Anahat and Visshudha, are doing their work. So this can also be one meaning or one interpretation of how the chakra systems or the yogic system has been implemented in this particular picture. Now, as we saw earlier, what is the reason of Sri Krishna telling the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna right in the middle of war was because Arjuna was not going to listen in his ordinary daily life. So this picture also tells us something else, like this is a war. This picture is a scene from a war where Arjuna is in a battle and he has to fight different people, and this picture is actually a representation of our life. Our daily life is like a war, because you can never guarantee what is going to happen today and tomorrow, and which day might be the last day of our life. And if you just look at internet and some YouTube videos, you can know, like, random people, they are attacked by so many things, like people die all over the world every day. And their death is not like some very systematic thing. Death is not a systematic thing. That's what is being shown here. It can happen at any instant, at any moment. So nothing can be said. So life, wherever we are, like even if we are in our cozy homes and sleeping on our sofas and watching television and whatnot, even then life is just like we are standing in the middle of a battlefield, because people die in their homes for lots of reasons. People die while going to the bakery, people die while going on a walk, while walking their dogs, and going to the beach, and just going hiking in a Colorado River. So many people lose their lives there, going up a mountain and doing fun stuff, and it's gone in an instant. So life is like that. Like everyone is standing right there in the middle of a battlefield. So in this picture we see the four things: the chariot, Arjuna, horse, and Sri Krishna, and all those four combined is one single person. If we combine all those four elements into one entity, and that one entity is standing in the battlefield, it just means that there is no certainty in life. Life is very uncertain, and when death is going to happen, you can never know, you can never say. And that's the reason why it is shown that these people are standing in the middle of a battlefield and not having a fun race or something like that in their palaces or something. Like they are not enjoying. This is not an enjoyment. You can enjoy, but remember where we stand. It is just a kind of reminder. This picture reminds us that wherever we are in our life, we are still in the middle of a battlefield and a war is going on, and we have to be alert, and Krishna has to be awakened, and he has to be given the command of our horses and the chariot, and we have to be ready to fight our battles. And the last thing that I would like to point it out here is Sri Krishna goes on giving Arjuna teachings, and Arjuna goes on discarding his teachings, like, okay, I don't understand, I don't get it, how can I kill my people, and this and that. And then Sri Krishna gives him another teaching. He is still not ready to accept, and another. But in the end, Arjuna understands that there is no other way except the way of Sri Krishna. That is also one meaning, that Arjuna has to surrender to the way of Sri Krishna. That means we cannot try and control our Agya Chakra with our mind or with our emotions or with our thoughts or with our intelligence. It will be the best, it will be in our best interest if our thoughts, our emotions and our intelligence are following the higher chakra. That will be the Agya Chakra. That means it will be the best if Arjuna is surrendered to Sri Krishna and not honking from behind like go right and go left and go this way and go that way. Sri Krishna knows where to take the horses and the chariot. He knows. And Arjuna has to surrender. And this is not a kind of surrender that, okay, you are my master, I am your slave, and now you order what to do and I will do, and that kind of stuff. He has to have a faith. It's not faith, but he has to be open to the possibility that he can let go of his control over Ajna Chakra or Sri Krishna. He does not have to control or try to control Sri Krishna, meaning do not try to control your Agya Chakra with your lower centers. Like suppose you start meditation and definitely your Agya Chakra is not active when you start meditation, and you have some thoughts in your mind like through meditation I'm going to become, say, rich or powerful or something like this and that, and I will gain this and I will be able to do that. But when Agya Chakra starts getting active, it might follow what your thoughts were or what you wanted to achieve, but it might not. But whatever it does will be the best possible thing that can happen. Wherever Sri Krishna takes the chariot and the horses is the best place for Arjuna to be and fight his war. That is one more aspect of this picture, that he does not have to interfere, or say he does not have to keep poking Sri Krishna to go right and go left and go here and go there. Sri Krishna will take the chariot and the horses to the exact place where it is needed to be, and all Arjuna has to do is to fight his war. That means the Agya Chakra will be able to control the energy and our physical body and take it wherever it is needed, and our mind has to fight the battle there or perform its work or do its job at that place, and not try and force Agya Chakra to follow what the mind wants. So in a kind of, say, hierarchy, this also places the hierarchy. And remember, in the end, Sri Krishna, it's not like Sri Krishna is someone else to whom Arjuna, someone else, has to surrender, and there are two people and there is a conflict. It's all a part of you. It's all a part of a human being, one single human being, one entity. One single entity has all these chakras that are represented by the horses, the chariot, by Arjuna and Sri Krishna. So there are conflicts. There definitely are internal conflicts between our chakras. So one says right, one says left, one says this, one says that. So that is what is also represented here. Like you have to surrender. Like Arjuna has to surrender. So it's not like Sri Krishna will be surrendering. Arjuna has to surrender. So your emotions and thoughts should be surrendered to Sri Krishna. By surrendering, it might mean follow Sri Krishna or not haggle him with this and that comes in our mind. That can also be a meaning of this. So we have discussed, I think, as much as I wanted to share about this single image, and we saw how profound this one single image is, and there and it's just unimaginable how much meaning this one picture contains. And definitely all the things that I have said here is not all. Like I'm not sure about the number of horses. In some pictures we see there are 4 horses, in some pictures we see there are 5 horses, and there should be 5 horses, because the energy in our body is subdivided into 5 categories of pran. Like pran is subdivided into pran, apan, saman, udan, and vyan. So there are 5 different channels, there are 5 different types of energies, 5 different pran. So there should be 5 horses. I'm not sure. Maybe there are 4 horses, they mean something else. But as far as the context of energy goes, the reins of the horses are in the hands of Sri Krishna. That's the meaning that I can derive, is the Ajna chakra should be the master or in control of our Swadisthana chakra, and indirectly our Mooladhara, and not the other 3 chakras in between. They should not be in control of the Swadhisthana or the energy center. Okay, thank you very much for listening, and if you have your own thoughts you can comment and we can discuss things later. If you have any questions you can also ask. You're welcome to ask questions and we will try to answer them. And again, this is not something that has to be claimed or something that has to be taught to someone. This is just a discussion that is aimed at helping you grow in your life, grow towards your higher potential, grow towards your higher chakras, grow towards what you are supposed to become. Thank you very much.